What's up, Victoria? It's Victoria. In January, I put out a little form, a Google form for my subscribers to let me know what they would like for me to review. And in this video, I'm going to go through all of the suggestions that were made and see if we can find anything that I think is worth reviewing in there. And I just want to say before we go through this entire list, if I don't like your suggestion or I shoot it down, it has nothing to do with you. It doesn't mean it was a bad suggestion, but because I have limited funds and I'm not trying to buy every makeup release, and my channel has revolved historically around not buying every makeup release and being critical of those releases, this is just another format for us to think a little bit more thoroughly before we make a purchase. It is also important to keep in mind that I do have a channel, and you're here, and if you're new, why don't you subscribe? And while you're down there, hit the like button too. And then right next to that, there's the hype feature. But because this is a little bit of a side business for me and I do make money making content, I do sometimes buy things explicitly to review for my channel that I have zero interest in otherwise. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through each thing. I'm going to look it up if I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I am going to tell you why I would want that for any reason, why I wouldn't want it for any reason, and that would include as a business as well. Because there is very specific items that I think work well to get a new audience, which is another reason why I would be trying a new product, is to get people who have never watched my channel before to click on a video. I will be doing this again in February. So the February form is the first link in my description box. So please check that out. If you want to leave a suggestion, please only leave one product. We'll see where we end at the end of this video. I have some things that I think are interesting in mind, but if there is something in this video that I shoot down, but a lot of people in the comments say, wait a minute, maybe you should reconsider, please let me know. I would love to hear it in the comments down below. And again, none of these suggestions are stupid. I just really want to hit that home before we start going into this, because I will be harsh as I usually am when I'm talking about makeup launches. That's how I'm approaching this. This is like Critical Sauce light, but the idea of me actually buying something. So that's what we're doing. Images of the products will pop up on screen as I go through it. And if I have to look it up, I will take a beat. I will edit that out though. So just know that I'm not just going off all brain, but some of the stuff I do know what it looks like. First recommendation was the new Gucci glowing blushes. I have seen a couple of reviews of these. Here's why I wouldn't touch that. One, I think we're already out of the window of that being a relevant review for most people. Like, that's not something as a business expense that I think would bring new people in. Whenever I exclude that from the narrative, then I would have to be interested in it personally, and I would also have to think that my audience that is already here would be very interested in that. I did not like the matte version of the glowy blushes from Gucci. Gucci is a brand that I find very hit or miss. I will sometimes love their products, and then sometimes I will try something from them and it doesn't work for me. The matte blush and the foundation, I didn't really care for either of those. I love their bronzer and I do like their lipsticks, but those are like, I don't know if I need a million Gucci lipsticks either. It's kind of one of those brands where I just am like, it's kind of hit or miss. I always have my eye on what they're doing because I think they're one of the luxury brands who does inclusivity pretty well, considering how other luxury brands approach it. I don't think they're perfect. I do appreciate that they offer luxury in a wider shade range than a lot of the luxury brands do. And then if I think about my audience, I obviously don't know what every person in my audience thinks. This is the first time I've heard anyone say anything to me about these blushes, which also leads me to believe that my core audience would not care about what my thought about these. I'm gonna have to say this one's a pass. The next suggestion was the Lisa Eldridge refillable lipsticks. I don't keep tabs on what Lisa Eldridge does. If you've watched my channel historically, I have like strong feelings about how people talk about Lisa Eldridge and how people feel about Lisa Eldridge. And this is actually nothing to do with Lisa Eldridge herself. It has to do with the cult of personality that she has around her. And because people have a very strong parasocial relationship with her, I think she often gets the benefit of the doubt from people. And I do think that not all of her products are as good as a lot of people say. And that's not to say that they aren't good, but like, I don't think that what she's doing over there is as revolutionary as what a lot of people think. So whenever she does stuff, I really am side-eyeing it. And I do like the idea of a refillable lipstick. My understanding was that the whole system was made to be completely recyclable and timeless and forever and heavy and luxe. And so for that, I do appreciate it. The other problem I have with Lisa Eldridge, I have tried to build a cart for a full brand review a couple of times on her website. And I always run into the issue that the shades that she offers in her lip products specifically, none of them intrigue me. And I have been more open to more punchy lips these days because I've been like testing out that Violette FR stuff and I've been really loving having like bright pops on my face, whether it's like a cheek or a lip or whatever. I've been really enjoying that. But the other thing is, it's not something I enjoy all the time. A lot of the time I'm doing a lip gloss. A lot of the time I am just doing a lip balm on my lips, especially on the day-to-day when I'm going out and about and wearing makeup. Usually I'm not putting on like a colorful lip at all. I will usually just take a lip balm, perhaps a lip balm with some sparkle in it. And that is like the most that I will do whenever I'm going out, unless I'm going out in the evening. But like from the day-to-day, it's like not something that I'm wearing a lot. And it's not that I don't see value in having a bright, punchy lip color to grab every now and then. I just don't know that Lisa Eldridge is going to make the one for me. And if she offered a shade that I think that I would like and would wear a lot, then that would be a little bit different. I always feel like every time I talk about Lisa Eldridge, because I am oft a voice of dissent whenever it comes to her makeup line, I do find that the fangirls normally find me. And I think that's really annoying because those people don't get what I'm trying to do here. I've done a lot of work removing myself from the cult of personality to makeup brands. I did it with Pat McGrath. I think Pat McGrath is like really cool and I love the makeup that she does. Her makeup line, I think, has failed and I stopped buying from the makeup line because it wasn't as interesting. And that's not to say that's like all of the reasons that are what's going on with Pat McGrath, but I'm just saying like this is how I feel about when people have that strong parasocial relationship. All that being said, I'm not really super interested in a Lisa Eldridge lipstick. These are a little bit old news. I don't have any interest in them. And I think all of the people who would have been interested in a Lisa Eldridge lipstick, they normally buy it at launch because oftentimes her stuff sells out. It's not something that I can see myself reviewing, but there are plenty of reviews on that product. So you don't need it from me. Someone recommended the Fwee pudding pots. There is an Ulta near me that has some of these and I swatched some of them and I have to tell y'all, I don't get it. I don't understand the coloring system that they have, the idea of them. And I know that people really love these, but there also seems to be like different textures. And I felt like the display I was looking at in the Ulta like wasn't really set up for success. It was already kind of like yucky and mucky and a bunch of blush and product was kind of smeared all over everything. And that makes it really unappealing for me if I am buying in person. And I have dabbled on their website a couple of times. Hannah Lee's Poston had like a gray lip gloss that she talked about on her channel. And then I went to go find it and I couldn't find it on their website. This is not something I'm entirely opposed to, but it's not something that I think is at the forefront of my mind. This would be something if I did like an Asian beauty, because like I'm not sure that I would do all C beauty, all K beauty, all J beauty. Did I say C beauty? If I didn't see beauty, I would kind of do like a yes style haul type video where I would like buy a bunch of stuff, test it like I am with the Violette FR, like I've done with Victoria Beckham, like I've done with Charlotte Tilbury and Mob in the past, test it all and then come back and be like, here's what I thought was worth it and what wasn't. And so I think Fwee could work into something like that if I choose to do that. But as like an individual kind of thing, I don't know that I'm super interested in it. And kind of like what I said about the Lisa Eldridge, this seems like well trodden on YouTube specifically. I don't want to say that Hannah doesn't pay attention to like new releases and what's going on in like K beauty and C beauty, which I wouldn't even say that I have a good handle on that. But if it's made its way to her, it means that like it has had the reach that I think it's needed to, because I do think that YouTube, well, I guess I don't really know what's going to happen now. I think a lot of people have left TikTok because of the privacy situation that's happening over there. And so I don't know, like, but like Fwee was like really big on TikTok and then I saw it trickle into YouTube, or like YouTube's always a little bit later. And I'm not using TikTok anymore. So I guess I don't know what's trendy over there. This kind of feels like old news to me, but I would be open to hearing in the comment section, like someone explaining them to me a little bit more. And it's like, I touched them and I like kind of got it. And I was with a friend who like isn't super into makeup. So I was like, oh, I was like excited to see I was like, Fwee. And then she was like, I don't get it. And I was like, actually, no, up here, I also don't really get what's going on over here. So would love to know more if anyone is knowledgeable about it in the comment section down below. And this is one I could see myself doing. Out of the three so far, or three, however many I've talked about, out of the so many I've talked about so far, this one, the Fwee is the most likely. I'm new to forms. I've used them a couple of times, but I actually already deleted this response, but then someone commented this in a recent video. So someone just said, more Rituel de Fille. This is like actually something that really frustrates me. I use Rituel de Fille products in nearly every application video, unless I'm like testing a different contour product. And I've done a couple of videos that were kind of just completely dedicated to Rituel de Fille products. And I kind of made a video called the Rituel de Fille video. And I know know if you are new to me, you wouldn't know that if you weren't there when the video came out, but this is just like a reminder that I implore you, whenever you find a new content creator and you're looking for reviews from them, they might already have those reviews. You just might be new to them. So I always suggest searching whatever brand or whatever product plus the creator that you are interested in seeing the review of to see if it exists before you request it. And that's only because it's like, I feel kind of mean whenever I reply with like a link to a video, but like, you could have done that. And I'm just doing that because I know that, but it's like, you could have also done that. So like Rituel de Fille is like well documented on my channel. I've talked a lot about Rituel de Fille over the years. I have a lot of videos where I talk about specific Rituel de Fille products. My favorite contour products, the Rituel de Fille Intuition and Omen are my favorite contour products. And then the Rituel de Fille video, I bought a bunch of samples and I bought a bunch of full-size products that I hadn't tried to try again. Or if I was trying for the first time, like to give you my opinion on them. Unless Rituel de Fille releases something that I have not tried, and I don't think they have. The only thing that they've been kind of doing recently is like limited edition drops of that lip oil that I don't like. So I'm not really interested in those limited drops, but I will always re-up on the Rituel de Fille products I like. So there's my Rituel de Fille. I'm on my pedestal. I'm getting off my Rituel de Fille pedestal. It exists on my channel. Go find it. Glossier Skylight. It's so ethereal. I'm pale and I got Prism, but Lunar could work too. Is that the liquid highlighter that they released not that long ago? That is what it is. Cam did dedicated first impressions on this, and I don't think she really has liked it. I'm not sure how much she's used it since then. She's my good Judy. So, and we talk on the phone a lot, but like, and we talk about makeup products on the phone sometimes, but like, this has not come up since she's tried it in that try on video. The thing about liquid highlighters for me, I don't often use them. They don't end up being my first choice. I have the Auric Glow Lust, and that is a product I really love dearly, but I often forget to use because it's a liquid highlighter. It's just not part of my usual getting ready. I really still do love Auric Glow Lust, and I have used it more recently. I don't think I want to add another liquid highlighter to the mix. I also have the liquid highlighter from Lethal Cosmetics that came out with the Dexter collab, which I do like, but is much more intense highlighter. It's more like kind of highlighter I'm wearing today, although now you can't really see it, but it was like more sparkly. Yeah, this thing is just like not a thing that I would try. And while I did really like Spotlight from Charlotte Tilbury, I didn't find myself using it as much as I really wanted to, and I prefer Auric Glow Lust. So I think that just for me, like the Glossier liquid highlighter or any kind of liquid highlighter, unless the color is stunning and like feels really unique, I don't know that that's a thing that I'm really interested in trying at this time. I'm gonna take this one brand that has come up a lot, and I just want you to know that it's been noted. It would probably be the next full brand review I would do. And if anyone knows anyone at this brand that I could maybe hook me up with like a little bit of something from them, I would appreciate it. But Kiko Milano came up a lot in this, and Kiko Milano is a brand that I feel like I don't know much about, but anytime I talk about any product from a luxury brand I like, someone is like, Kiko Milano has a dupe of that. For example, I know that Kiko Milano has baked eyeshadows that are apparently made in the same labs that the ones from Chantecaille are. The ones from Chantecaille are like $45. I think they might even be $50 now. They were like $45 when I bought them, but I think they've done price increases every year the last couple of years. Those are $45. The Kiko Milano ones I think are about $15-ish. I just want you to know that I've noted there's a bunch of products from Kiko Milano have been brought up here, and if that would be something I would consider doing a full brand review from, let me know your favorite Kiko products in the comments down below. But I'm gonna just kind of like take this moment to acknowledge all of the Kiko Milano requests, and I will keep them in my mind if I do decide to do a dedicated brand review to them, because I think that would be smart. Because if all of the products are really super luxurious and meet the standards of my luxury makeup, that could be a good alternative for me and you. Like if you wanted to try some of the stuff I liked and some of it ends up being similar, I could be like, skip the Victoria Beckham satin eye kajols, get the kajols from Kiko Milano, which they do have kajal eyeliners. They have a lot of eyeliners. They have a lot of product. Their brand confuses me. I like kind of don't always know what's going on. Their limited edition stuff seems to come and go quite quickly. I don't feel like I'm up on everything that happens at Kiko Milano. They have a million colors. There's like a lot of stuff going on. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on over there, but I find their website kind of overwhelming. Noted, clocked T in my brain. Got it. The next suggestion was the About Face concealer. I don't really love that foundation, and that's not to say the concealer couldn't impress me when the foundation didn't, but I have noticed that I kind of am pretty consistent if I don't care for or don't have strong feelings about a foundation product or a concealer product, and then I try that brand's like foundation version of that concealer or the concealer version of the foundation that I like or don't really care for, kind of ends up all being a wash. Like for example, I don't have it, but like I imagine that I won't like the Milk Hydro Grip Stick Concealer because I didn't really care for the Hydro Grip Foundation Skin Tint. So this is just like kind of not in my mind. I know a lot of people really like About Face, and I also will say I haven't really seen people talk about this. Did it come out? Wait, did it come out yet? I also remember there being problems with the way they labeled the shades on one of their Instagram posts, and that led to a whole thing. I guess. I don't know. This was like a thing that happened, and I like saw it, and I was like, I don't know, because About Face is a brand that I like have tried stuff from, and like nothing lands as a favorite for me. That's why I kind of continue to be disinterested in it. If I tried like one singular thing from About Face that blew me away and made me feel made me feel so cutty slay, I think that I would want to try some more. But like I've tried the eye paints, which I didn't really care for. Everything I've tried from About Face has just been handed. Oh no, the one thing that I do love from them, I do love their powder. Their powder is awesome. It worked really well for me. I really like their face powder. I've tried like a handful of things, yeah. But any color I feel like I've gotten to try from them has been hand-me-downs from other creators, and they've always been like colors I'm not really interested in. So I will say like it hasn't been a fair shake, but the foundation I did buy, and I did buy my shade that wasn't hand-me-down, and I didn't really love it. And then they sent it to me in PR, and I also, again, didn't really love it. Okay, that's it for the About Face. I'm not buying it. The Armani Reformulated Foundation, I'm assuming you mean the Luminous Silk. I didn't love the original formulation of the Armani Luminous Silk, and I know it's a super popular product. I don't really feel that if I reviewed that and I tried that, and if people were looking for a comparison, I don't feel like I know the original formula well enough to help people who have tried that to make a decision about the new one. Because the last time, it might be the first foundation review I have on my video, like my first dedicated foundation review, and they used to be like an hour long no matter what. And so it's there. I just remember it making me look older than I was when I tried it at the time. This was reformulated because of that one specific silicone that is getting banned in the EU. So here's the thing. I didn't really like the original formulation, which does mean that I could potentially like this formulation now that it's this. I don't think that I don't know. I don't feel compelled to try an Armani Luminous Silk foundation. I don't feel compelled by Armani in general. I like their liquid eyeshadows, and I like their concealer. The Luminous Silk concealer actually is quite good. It worked really well for my skin. And it's like the only two things from them that I'm really interested in, and I don't think this is something that I would buy or be interested in. I don't think I would add a lot of value to this. I think you would get a lot more out of someone who has tried the old one and tried the new one and can compare them, as opposed to me. The next suggestion was the Kosas Cloudset Setting Powder. You're fighting an uphill battle if you were recommending Kosas to me. I have a beef with them. It's made up, it's one-sided. But what Kosas does, I'm not interested. I'm simply not interested. I did swatch their new highlighter, which I think is also on here, in store at a Sephora yesterday, and I was like perplexed by it. All of them had hard pan at Sephora, so I'm throwing that out there as just a caution word to the wise. They all had hard pan. I know a lot of times you're not sticking your finger in a highlighter like that, but in case you do stick your finger in a highlighter and that's how you apply it, which is totally a valid way to do it, just know that those all had hard pan from people's fingies getting in there. But the lightest shade has like a blue iridescence to it, which was surprising from Kosas, but I'm also not interested in that. I assume that this is the setting powder that's loose. The pink looked too dark, and the lightest shade also looked too dark. So I guess I'm not super interested in Kosas. I'm sorry. Kosas would have to innovate something that I feel like other brands are not offering for me to even potentially buy from them, but they give me bad vibes. That is why I don't buy from them. They give me bad vibes. And I know running on a vibe basis with brands is like speculative at best, but I'm not interested. What they're selling, I'm not interested. The next suggestion is, I think, my favorite suggestion, because this is something that has crossed my path a few times. And I'm like, what is this brand? So this person had suggested the Maxine's Revenge Concealer, which I got ads for all the time on TikTok. And there was a foundation. It wasn't by Maxine's Revenge, but it was like the Tuttle Foundation. I don't know. Anyway, and I would get like ads for them back to back, which were like these complexion products that I feel like I've never heard of. And I do love a complexion product, and exploring a complexion product that I feel like is not really talked about on YouTube, is very much my bread and butter. Like, yes. So I did actually, after I saw this one, I like kind of looked at their range, and I think that I could find a shade for me. The shade range, let me double check. Okay, this is now ringing true. One of my patrons, who is obviously a subscriber, and I think that they've helped me moderate one of my lives before, because I was like, someone help me, and they were like, I'll do it. And I said, okay, you. So thank you, dear moderator. Dear moderator, that became a moderator in a moment of panic for me. I think lives in France and then made a bunch of cosmetic recommendations French. Anyway, this is the French phase. And I've been really into the Violette FR stuff that I've been trying. So I think people are like, French cosmetics might be Tom's things. And that might be. Maybe the French do it the way that I like. They don't have a ton of shades. Ooh, right now, a lot of them are sold out. And the shade that I would have wanted was sold out. Okay, this would have to come back into stock for this to even be a thing. I'm interested. I don't know. I love trying a complexion product. I don't know. Sue me. I love complexion. That's like the thing that I care the most about. I don't know. To me, that's the part that I want to look the best. Like an eyeshadow can be good and I can make it work and that's fine. A complexion product has to be exceptional to me for me to really want to wear it over and over again. Like good is not sufficient when it comes to complexion product. I have to see some sort of value in it. Great one. I think this and the Fwee stuff is the most likely. And then a Kiko Milano brand review. It's like, this is a great way to source information for us to have some dialogue. Have any of you tried the Maxine's Revenge Concealer? Do you think I'd like it? Let me know. Next person recommended NUSE liquid blushes, which I think is an Asian beauty brand. Oh yeah, they're on Yes Style. The beautiful thing about a lot of Asian beauty products is that they are kind of inexpensive. And from the looks of this, these shades I think would work really well for me. I often forget to look to Asian beauty for cheek products because I'm a very fair-skinned person. A lot of the Asian beauty stuff tends to be created with fair skin in mind, which I'm not saying is right, it just is. A lot of the times I think the undertones are more nuanced for like the way that my skin handles color. So this is definitely something I could see myself going. Like it would be like if I was doing a Yes Style haul, I could do the Fwee or the NUSE. And maybe I would do a different Fwee product and maybe I would do, it's NUSE. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, these are cool. And I think that maybe the same person went back and recommended specific shades because I feel like this comes up again. Or it's two different people, which then two people are interested in it. But I highly recommend just not buying these. I don't know anything about them, but check out the shades. If you have fair skin and you often have trouble finding shades to work for you, this could be a thing. We run into the same issue though. It's a liquid blush. I don't often choose to use liquid blushes. So that would be like the main obstacle for this. The only liquid blush in my makeup collection right now that is like in my permanent collection, although I don't think I have any that I'm testing, is the one from Charlotte Tilbury. And as much as I bemoan that sponge tip applicator, I think that is the reason it is the liquid blush that sticks around. Now, I did rip off the ones from the Surratt one, but like those, I do think I like a little more presence on my cheeks. So watercolory is not usually for me, but these colors look cool. And I'm into it. They look like they have some gray in it. It looks like they're desaturated. So this is noted. It's like RuPaul's Drag Race. It's like the judges will help me, but I will make the final decision on who goes home. The next recommendation, I had to like look up because I'd never heard of this brand. It's Spatch, and they have a powder concealer and color corrector. Nightmare looking to me, but these are powder concealers and color correctors. I don't cover my beard area, but I'm wondering if the powder would be good or bad if you were trying to color correct facial hair. I'm gonna pull it up again because this was like such a weird little product. It was made by a makeup artist. My understanding, after like kind of looking at this website whenever I did that one time, they are really trying to help people who have acne. The color correcting is for acne. They have a salicylic acid primer. Everything just seems to be safe for people who are acne prone, which I think is cool. And I think that's awesome. And I'm wondering if the powder concealer potentially adds more coverage. And if you are spot concealing, and it does say spot fix, this could maybe be helpful. The only thing that I could see myself using this for would be to color correct my eyebrows, but I don't even usually do that. Oftentimes I just accept the fact that it kind of still looks like I have eyebrows even though I shave them, but then there will sometimes still be darkness there and I like just don't care enough. I think this is cool. I don't know that I'm the right person to tackle this. I am not super acne prone. When I do have acne, I do very little to try to cover it up. So I'm not sure that I'm the right person to review this, but I think the brand is cool. And if you are acne prone, seek out reviews on it. It's not incredibly expensive. The corrector and concealer duo is $29, which I mean, it's not inexpensive, but it's not the most expensive thing either. The Lure fragrance sampler pack. Here's the thing about fragrance videos is that mine, because not everyone who watches me cares about what I have to say about fragrance. They don't normally do well with my audience. And then because they don't do well with my audience, they don't find an audience of people who might want to see it. That's just like kind of how the algorithm works. And I love making the fragrance videos and I enjoy them. So it's not something that's out of the realm of possibility. I don't know anything about lore. I know that their bottles are really pretty. I think that's kind of it. I've seen the bottles. They're very pretty, but I don't know a lot about the brand. I didn't turn on my lamp. I was like, why does it look so dark in my background? How many of you have been like, why didn't they turn on the lamp? The truth of the matter is, I just simply forgot. And that's it. That's all it was, baby. I know that there are people who love my fragrance videos as well when I do them. And I know I have some people who will just watch any video I put up. I just don't know how likely I am to do a dedicated fragrance video at any point. I don't know, but it's not, I would be interested in smelling them. I'm always interested in smelling stuff. You know what's interesting? I did smell a new fragrance over the weekend. It was the new Tom Ford Fig fragrance. I don't care that much about Fig, but that fragrance was sexy and I liked it a lot. And I don't love a lot of Tom Ford fragrances. So then I was like, oh me, oh my. I don't know if they sell sample, like little bottles of it, but I thought about it. I thought about asking, which is a lot. The next one is the Byredo palette, or it just is a Byredo palette. I think this person is leaving it open to interpretation for me. Like I can pick whichever Byredo palette I want. I thought I was gonna be interested in the Vesuvius palette. And whenever the promo shots came out late last year, and I guess it came out in Europe first, I don't know. I saw someone I follow, someone I follow, I'll put their handle on here because they do Instagram content. I don't know if they do YouTube content, but I can't even remember their name. I saw someone get it and they bought it from Chic Beauty Official, who does like luxury makeup, new release content. And then also you can buy, I don't know how it all works. You have to figure that out by yourself if that's something you want to do. But I thought I was going to like the idea of the Vesuvius palette. And when we first saw it, the pictures were not good and they were quite desaturated. And I said, that I really like. And then when it actually launched in the United States and we got a better image of it and I started seeing people use it, it's like more saturated than I thought. And I was like, actually, I'm less interested in it. And it's also kind of like a rainbow palette. It's got some Roy G. Biv vibes and I'm not spending that much on a rainbow palette. I'm not that interested in a rainbow palette. And then whenever you go look at the 5 p.m. palettes, it looks like they've overhauled those as well. So I always have wanted corporate colors. I always think it's so pretty and I never bought it. And you know who talked me out of it? Brittany. My friend Brittany, who's born blushing, and she just posted a video like last week and she's trying to post one video a month. So if you didn't watch her most recent video about the 4 lipsticks that she has left in her makeup collection, I encourage you to go watch that video. But she always discouraged me from buying corporate colors because she was like, it's the least interesting one tone. Because at one point she had all of, at that time, had all of the Byredo palettes and had at least tried them all. And she was just like, it's not the one. She kept recommending the one that came in the black packaging. If you watch my channel for any amount of time, you know I have enough black smoky eyeshadow palettes and I can do a black smoky eye with a lot of stuff in my makeup collection. So that's not something I truly need. Anyway, I'm not opposed to a Byredo palette. I just think the perfect one hasn't come out yet. There just has not been the one that says, this is the one that Tom needs to try. I just haven't seen it. I don't know when it's going to come out. I don't know what it will look like, but when I know, you'll know. And at that time, I think I will buy a Byredo palette. It's always been on my list. And I think Byredo made my short list for brands I'm still interested in, but Byredo is by far the most confusing brand I'm still interested in. The next person suggested the Kosas Shiny Objects Powder Highlighter. See the last bit about Kosas for my thoughts on that. The next one is a real one out of left field. Someone suggested the Huda Icy Nude palette. That was a limited edition one. That was like their last big palette that they were gonna do. I'm gotta tell you, I'm not really interested in buying anything from Huda at all, ever. I wasn't before, I'm not now, and I've already decluttered the setting spray that I had from the brand. Like, I'm just not super interested in what Huda's doing. A second person said the Gucci blushes. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys are dying and waiting with bated breath for me to try the Gucci blushes. Maybe I'm wrong. The next recommendation is the Cosmic Brushes, and the person was like, the palette of your choosing. Cosmic Brushes is an interesting brand to me, and I've seen other indie reviewers talk about the brand. They have done some alluring color stories. My problem is, if I'm gonna spend my when it comes to my indie eyeshadow palettes, here's where I'm at. I am wearing an indie eyeshadow palette on my eyes today with another indie brand as a topper. You can check my description box if you want to know what's on my eyes. Big palettes, which is like what Cosmic Brushes does, and indie brands, and my use of eyeshadow, those things don't intersect. I feel blessed and lucky to have received PR from indie brands, and some brands still send me PR, and I feel grateful for that. However, I don't know that I'm a good resource for eyeshadow reviews at this point. The way I use eyeshadow, the colors that I'm interested in, and I don't feel compelled to push myself to use every shade in a palette, because that's not what would happen. A lot of times with eyeshadow palettes, I find 1, 2, 3, maybe at most 4 shades that I like in it, and I will just use those shades over and over again. And if you look at a lot of the eyeshadow palettes in my makeup collection that are well used, you'll find that some of the shades have huge dips in them and other shades look like they haven't been touched, and that's just probably the truth. So when it comes to like indie eyeshadow palettes, I just don't know that I'm, one, a good resource for that, and 2, I don't know that I'm interested in like trying to get my head around it. Go see my video where I check in on my February 2025 purchases. I talk about the Unearthly Just a Taste palette, and I think that's just what would happen with any eyeshadow palette I try from an indie brand anymore. But I will say I am using the Blend Bunny stuff, which I do have on my eyes, and I did really like that. So maybe something could surprise me too. But the thing about the Blend Bunny Ellis Atlanta stuff that I bought, it's so my gig. Like, it's like the colors and the mattes, like everything that they released in that collection that I bought is like stuff that I would use. And I just don't know that Cosmic Brushes has a palette for me in that way. The next recommendation is the ABH Lip Liner in Stormy. I don't buy from ABH, so you won't be seeing that on my channel. I never like have proclaimed that, but I have not forgiven them. Next suggestion is a Rabanne eyeshadow. I assume that this person is allowing me to choose which one. I actually cannot emphasize how many times I've gone to the Rabanne website and built a cart and then not bought it. And I've gone to Ulta's and I've swatched stuff and I still have not bought anything from them. And if you recall, this is a brand that like always has like my interest. Like they really pissed me off with one of their holiday releases a couple years ago where they released this really expensive highlighter. It came in like a purse. Like I was like, what are we doing? They didn't do that again the next year, which made me believe that they perhaps learned their lesson. Rabanne is like always there. I just want you to know, like there's never a 0% chance for a Rabanne product to make its way to me that I want to buy. I also have considered doing it as a deep dive brand review a couple of times, but right now it does seem that Kiko Milano would perhaps behoove me a little bit more. It seems to be what more people are interested in from me. Just know that Rabanne is like always kind of like, I always kind of see what they're doing. I don't love everything that they put out, but I did swatch their concealer one time and I was blown away by the texture of it. And I was like, I bet that's a really good concealer. I have no idea. The thing about Rabanne is it's a mystery brand, I think, to a lot of people still. I've seen a couple people buy their eyeshadows and I know a couple of the lip products people like, but I don't know if there is a time for Rabanne Beauty to make its way into my oeuvre. But we'll see. The next recommendation was an M Cosmetics product. I don't buy from M Cosmetics. And also like every brand has their problems. Whatever brands you choose to buy from for whatever reason, I encourage you to not buy from brands for whatever reason. I'm allowed to not buy from brands, and I don't feel like just because I am a content creator, have to justify and also keep you updated on what all these brands are doing. That's not the work that I'm doing in the world. I would suggest watching Jen's like weekly review about what happened in makeup, the What's Up in Makeup. And she does not ever say whether or not you should not buy from a brand because of an action that has happened from a brand owner, but you will at least be up to date on what is happening with some brand owners and the behavior that they are displaying. And then you can make your own decision from there. Off my little pedestal again. Let's move along. Someone suggested the Typology skin tint. I've tried a couple of things from Typology. I tried some of their skincare. And I tried their lip oil. Nothing has blown me away from Typology, but I heard the skin tint is quite nice, but it would kind of be like the Maxine's Revenge. I don't think that their shade range is very good, but I do like a skin tint. So again, kind of one of those things like not on the realm of possibility, but not high on my list either. The next recommendation is, I'm gonna have to read this one, it's a long name. The Laniege Neo Blurring Loose Finishing Powder that just came out. I'm just taking a look at it. The compact. Oh, Bretman Rock is in like the carousel of photos on Sephora's website. I love blurring powders, so I don't think this is a bad recommendation at all. I guess I'm also a little perplexed by this. I will say I have not been using my finishing powders as much as I once did. I think it's because it's winter and everything's dry, and it's like my oily face can also only take so much powder in the winter time. This is not something I'm not opposed to. This also could be, I guess, in an Asian beauty haul Yes Style thing, because I think Yes Style also, yeah, they also carry Laneige, and it's usually cheaper on YesStyle. Just in case you like some Laneige products and you buy enough of them that buying from YesStyle would be worth your time. I don't dislike this one. I don't know that I'm running for this one either. The next suggestion is, consider this response as a tiebreaker. I'm here for whatever you pick to review. Appreciate you. Someone said the new Gucci lipsticks. I didn't know Gucci had new lipsticks. A Koh Gen Do Foundation? Sure. That would be for us. I feel like, that's like, we would have to all want that. We would all have to want a Koh Gen Do Foundation review. If you're not familiar, also an Asian brand. I don't know which region it comes from in Asia, but luxury, very expensive product that they sell. There are a couple pro makeup retailers that I could probably buy this from to make it a little more cost effective for me, which is good for me, but wouldn't be for all of you. I don't know that I have a vested interest in a Koh Gen Do foundation, but I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm like more open to this. It's not an automatic no for me like some of the ones we have gone through. The next person suggested Kaleidos Lip Liner in Java. Here, when it comes to Kaleidos, they are a C Beauty brand. I don't know if they have American warehouses because that has happened with some C Beauty brands since all of the tariff stuff with the United States has been like up in the air with them for forever. It's like buying one thing from Kaleidos and then paying the shipping does not seem worth it to me because then it has to like travel internationally. And the other thing about Kaleidos is I haven't tried everything from Kaleidos, but I tried a lot of it back in the day and I was not so impressed with anything from Kaleidos that I feel compelled to buy one lip liner from them. That's where I am with that. So I probably wouldn't review this unless it came to Urban Outfitters, which does carry some of what Kaleidos has to offer on their website. I think they at least did for a while. Just so you know, the child and Tiff just arrived home, so you're probably going to hear them doing their stuff right now, but I'm going to keep filming because we still have so many more to get through. Prada Concealer. I swatched the Prada Concealer at Sephora. The consistency actually wasn't a desirable consistency of concealer for me, which doesn't always necessarily mean that like a concealer won't work for me and I won't like it, but I can tell from texture. I do like a thinner formula that has more pigment rather than a thicker formula that has a lot of pigment. I don't really love the Prada foundation. I liked it at best. It worked better for me in the summertime. It has left my makeup collection in theory. It's still in this room, but it's like left my makeup collection in theory. I don't think that they're making complexion products that are for like what my desired finish is, which is totally fine. But on that same line, the Chanel concealer is the next recommendation. As alluring as I find Chanel overall, I don't think I really want to buy from Chanel going forward. And that's that. And I do have that beautiful concealer that Cam gifted me, and I'm gonna use that. Like if it's gifted to me, I wouldn't say no to it, but I'm not even talking about PR. Like if someone decided to gift me the new Chanel concealer, I wouldn't like say no to it, but also I wouldn't buy it myself. This is that really hard thing about being a content creator who's trying to be conscious of brand owners, but I don't have it perfect. And I do find Chanel to be an alluring brand a lot of the time for me. I think that they do a really good job advertising for some reason to me specifically. The next suggestion was the CL Skin Tint. Now, CL was the only brand that I talked about at the beginning of 2025 that I did not try throughout 2025. This would have to be a thing that the audience would want me to review, like, so that chime in if that is a passionate request of yours. I just don't think it would be. CL is a brand that I feel a little ho-hum about, but also am allured by. I think the thing that I find most alluring about it is that it was by the person who used to run Rowan, and then that stuff happened to her. And I actually don't know all the details of what happened with Rowan whenever she got ousted from Rowan. And then I also don't really love that all of her stuff is SPF, like everything is SPF. And it's not that I have an aversion to SPF. I wear SPF. That is not the problem. The problem is that just making all your products have SPF in them without explaining to people how SPF works, or that this is like potentially additional coverage, but not always. That's the problem I have with CL. And it's my problem with the Merit skin tint. I don't like that it has SPF in it, especially because it looks much better when you wear very little of it. And it's a beautiful product if you do that. But if you layer it up to have enough on your face to be sun protection, then it's not looking as cute as it was before. I don't know that this is really, like, I would, but I'm not super interested in it. Someone suggested Rituel de Fille blush products. See my rant about Rituel de Fille at the beginning of this video. The next suggestion is the Arborian CC Correct, and I guess they have extended their shade range. I don't know what I know that when I have seen other people use this product, the lightest shade does look deep. or did. Maybe they a lighter shade. I'm not 100% sure I'm like looking at the right thing. There's only 3 shades. That the shade extension. Wow, this is expensive. Like more expensive than I thought. Arborian. To the person who suggests this, or anyone who knows more about this, I'm not finding anything that looks like it has a shade extension. If it extended from like 1 to 3, I guess that's it. Here's what I'll say about this. Not interested. I don't usually like CC creams. I don't like how much coverage they tend to have. I'm usually, if I am color correcting, which I very rarely choose to do, and I don't even have a true color corrector in my makeup collection right now, is like to counteract redness. I don't do a lot of color correcting under my eyes. So there is that redness corrector, but I don't even really care to color correct redness. A lot of times foundation and concealer can get me where I want to be with that. And I'm not one of those people who desires to, like, I guess, wear less to not, I don't know. I'm okay with my redness, I guess. And if it shines through my foundation as well, I don't really care. Another request for the Laneige blurring powder. Noted. The next suggestion was the Swede eyelash growth serum. Here's why I'm not going to review a eyelash growth serum. I know that there's a specific ingredient that can cause things, and I know that there are brands that are now trying to make lash growth serums that don't have that ingredient in them. I don't feel comfortable talking about something like that because I cannot guarantee that my experience would be your experience with that, and I don't want anyone to take my recommendation on something if I ended up liking it and it worked for me and something more serious happening to your vision. I just don't feel comfortable like doing something like that. And obviously, like, there's room for error in all of the makeup products that we talk about, but this feels like more pointed, more specific. I will not be reviewing that. I have historically used and enjoyed Grande Lash. I don't know if the active ingredient in that is the one that everyone's trying to avoid now. The next suggestion is a Victoria Beckham eyeshadow palette, any color. I have one. I have this one. I don't think I've used it on camera. It's the Night Flash one. I've tried it a couple times off camera. I really want the Orchid one, but it sold out before I went to buy it, and I wasn't going to. I was actually planning on doing, in lieu of doing a Kiko Milano right now, I was going to buy some stuff from Victoria Beckham and do like an updated Victoria Beckham review and kind of do like a best and worst of Victoria Beckham beauty. But then it was sold out, but I really want that one. Also, the colors I have on my eyes today are kind of what the Orchid palette would be. The reason I wanted the Orchid palette is because it reminded me of the colors I was wearing in my Mob beauty review, and the stuff I was wearing in my Mob beauty review was Mob beauty product, and I decluttered everything but the lip glosses from the Mob beauty reviews. But I really liked how those colors looked at me, and I essentially have them on again today with stuff I already have. So I don't need the Orchid palette, but I was gonna buy the priming illuminator. Like, I don't know, there was a plan for me to do that. Anyway, I do have one. So basically, next playing with new makeup, I promise this will be the eyeshadow palette I use. So I do have it. And this, a very kind Patreon subscriber gave me a very generous gift card to Victoria Beckham Beauty. So this would be kind of sponsored by that person. And they wish to remain anonymous, but thank you to that person. That's why this is in my hands right now. I think the next person put this on here just to like appease me, the Ilia blush. So after I posted that video where I talked about the Ilia blush in the shade Glimpse specifically, Amanda Z kindly offered to send me a shade that wasn't that, but was in this formula. And it's just like, I really only want the shade Glimpse, which was very kind of Amanda. And I don't even know that I properly responded to her. So I apologize, Amanda, if you're watching. I'm going to see her later in the month anyway, so I'll see you then. I don't want the blush. Don't bring it. I don't want it, but that was very kind of her. Ilia is also a brand I feel iffy about. It's like, don't feel the vibes. I think my vendetta against Ilia and my ick about Ilia for the most part has to do with when I worked at Sephora. It was like one of the first brands that was really selling itself as a clean brand while I was working there. And oh, people were so annoying about Ilia. And I think that's really it. Let's talk about the next one. Anything Burberry. This is a good suggestion because I tried a lot of Burberry cosmetics whenever the brand first launched. I tried their face palette a couple years ago. That would have been 2021. It was before my no buy. So it was a while ago. Whatever they're up to at Burberry is confusing to all of us, it seems. And it seems to be confusing to people who are paying attention to it. It's even more confusing to people who are not really super paying attention to what Burberry is doing. That is something I find compelling as a personal thing. I don't know that like I'm gonna take the deep dive into Burberry. I know that Michelle Wong has a couple pieces from Burberry makeup. And I know some other people have like bits and bobs from Burberry. I don't know if there's like a lot of like Burberry makeup content that exists out there. So that could be one. That could be like one for like potentially exploring. But I don't think most of my audience cares about that. It would be like a passion project for me. And when I have to spend that much money on it, I don't know that it works as a passion project. And I don't know that I'm that interested in doing it without some ROI if I were to review it on my channel. Those are the thoughts I'm having about that. Lethal Cosmetics Infinity Lip Stains. Funny you should ask. I do have them. Well, I had the whole line, but I kept 2 to test. Nope, that's these. Here's what I'll say about them. These are also something that need to make their way onto my face in a video. I don't love lip stains. Of the lip stains I have tried, Lethal Cosmetics makes the best ones. I tried originally the ones that were in the Dexter collaboration, and then I think they just took that formula and made it in their permanent range and added some shades. I really like the shade Wolfsbane. I think it's the only one I've ever actually worn, and I've worn it a couple of times, and I've also used it for layering. And the packaging, the packaging is actually quite luxe. It's not like the most heavy, but it's like substantial, and I think they did a good job branding them. I think like this is like, these are really cute and they're good. As someone who doesn't like lip stain, for me to like these I think says a lot, but also maybe I like them for reasons that people who usually love lip stains wouldn't like them. They're not very fussy, and I normally find lip stains very fussy. Like they still do that thing that they will cling to your dry patches and be a little bit darker, but just like not as bad as other brands I have tried. So I really do like these. They're really good. I still don't think I would ever buy a lip stain, but if I were to really buy a lip stain, these would be a good one to buy. I do think that their range all leans a little bit ruddy, a little bit red. If you don't like reddy ones, the one that I like the most is Wolfsbane. It's like supposed to be a purple. We're gonna swatch it. I still think it kind of is red. Like it is like purpley, but it still looks like more like red. I still do prefer like a liquid lipstick to a lip stain, but that's what the stain looks like on my hand. They do wear very well, and they're easy to apply. So there's my quick little thoughts on that. Promise to put them on in a video soon. Maybe I need to start getting into short. I think that would be a more beneficial way for more specific product focus, and also working them into long form content. But those have been sitting in the drawer for me to put on in a video, and then like they kept getting pushed to the back. Like they just kept pushed to the back, pushed to the back, pushed to the back. But I do have them. That's my thoughts so far. The next suggestion is Milani Baked Highlighter. I don't know anything about Milani. The next person just suggested one and done eyeshadows. I have enough I have the one and done eyeshadows. Though there is a one and done eyeshadow that I am interested in. Mob Beauty is releasing liquid eyeshadows, and that did catch my eye. But I don't know if they're releasing sparkly ones. I hope they do. Oh, I just bought Sona Sona. I returned to the Westman Atelier contour, and then I exchanged it for Sona Sona. So here's a beautiful one and done sparkly eyeshadow that I will put on my eyes in future. I find it very hard to keep up with like featuring things, but then also not only putting out new makeup videos, which is what it feels like to me. And I never want that to be like the nature of my channel. And I don't want to make it like a Patreon members thing, because that doesn't feel right either. Unless it's a first impressions of a deep dive brand review, which is reserved for members and patrons. And that is explicitly because those are the people who help pay for those. On my channel, I want it all to be here. So anyway, I haven't figured out the right way, which is probably why shorts would be a good thing. Content pitch to those of you who made it this far in the video, because this is a really long video, and it's really for the Victorias. It's just for you and me, Victoria. I have been on my lunch breaks from work. I just will do a face of makeup on my lunch break. And I'm wondering if you would be interested in some kind of like montage style video where I am trying things that maybe haven't been featured in like a playing new makeup video, where like I'm putting them on my face, and then maybe I will do some like voiceover when I'm using the product to like explain how I'm feeling about the product at the time. Because sometimes I'm using old products, sometimes I'm exploring new products. Maybe like each week we would do like a compilation, and that maybe that would be a good way to maybe see some more newer makeup without it all being playing with new makeup videos. Let me know if you're into that. I don't know what that would look like either. So I could figure it out. We could figure out something like that. This person suggested Hermes bronzers. I don't know. I was looking at Hermes stuff over the weekend. It like catches my eye sometimes, and then this time when I looked at the Hermes beauty stuff, I was like, I don't care about this. You know what I almost bought this weekend? Do you guys know what I almost bought this weekend for review? Literally for review, but also for Dries Van Noten lipsticks. I thought about it. I had 3 shades in my cart, and then I was like, oh, this is $250. Because I was buying cases for each of them, which if I didn't buy cases... Anyway, that would be a thing to explore. But I don't know that any of you care about Dries Van Noten. That would have been a passion project. So maybe I should just start with one lipstick. The problem with Dries Van Noten is that their website, it's really hard to tell what the lipsticks look like. I will say to them, they've done a very poor job doing visual representations of what they got. And then when I try to look up swatches on people, it's also really hard to see some of the specific colors, because I think there are some colors that I'm interested in that kind of look ugly that I don't think people are buying. And I was like, but what does that look like? And the one shade looks like a concealer lip, and it does look like a concealer lip on people, but on people in real life, it looks like a pink color, like a pinky concealer lip, which I would like. But in the website, it looks yellow. And I don't know. I simply don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. Anyway, I was very into the idea of owning a Dries Van Noten lipstick this weekend. Someone suggested the Laura Mercier Tinted Blur Balm. I say this out of my butt. I don't know that this product is actually like this. I had to imagine it's close to the Danessa Myricks balm. I had to imagine it's close to the Lethal balm that I tried. I have to imagine it's close to the Bob Beauty balm. It's not a product that I see myself loving and using a lot. And considering every one I have tried, which I've tried the Danessa Myricks one, I have tried the Lethal one, I have tried the one from Mob, there's a specific use case for it that I just simply don't do with my makeup, and I don't want to add it to the routine. I don't know that I'm the right one for this. This type of product must be popular, and market research must be showing that people are buying it from some brands, and that is maybe why more brands are making it. It is just not a product category that I'm super interested in, so I won't be reviewing that. It's not something I'm interested in. Another person suggested the Kosas highlighters. Someone suggested more stuff from Make Beauty. I'm like not opposed to that. They're on Shop My Shelf, but the way that they use Shop, and this is creator privilege jumping out here right now, they like don't do it well. they whenever they launched the new shade range, like they launched the extended shade range of their concealers, they only offered up the original shades of the concealer to the people that they offered it to. And I know this because I had other influencers messaging me being like, did Make Off? And I was like, yeah, no, they certainly did. And then I messaged them back and they did not reply to me. Anyway, one thing I would like to explore more from them is their brushes, which I don't always say, but I love the brush that they sent with the concealer. And I have not at any point used it for a concealer, but I do really like that brush. I seek it out a lot when I'm doing my makeup, mostly to blend out contour. I love it to blend out contour. Oh, do I love it for that. I really love it for that. Would love to try more of their brushes. I wanted to look at their catalog. I've always wanted to try that emulsion. Does that something I would use instead of like the glazing milk? Because I've always wanted to try that. Not out of the realm of possibility. I don't know that a lot of people are interested in Make Beauty. With the couple things that I've tried from them, I don't know that anyone has a strong reaction to anything except people who like the concealer were like, I'm not surprised you like the concealer. The concealer is very good. Let's not forget that Ivy recommended their concealer to me like 2 years ago, and I was like, heard, and I just never got around to it. Would be curious to hear if you in the audience would like to know more about Make Beauty. I would be open to buying some stuff from them too, and make sure that I'm buying shades that I actually want instead of at the Marina concert picking things out that they offered to me in PR. So that's a possibility. We could definitely make that happen. The next suggestion is a Kaleidos blush, specifically in the shade Pale Rose. I've tried a Kaleidos blush before. I was neither here nor there about it. It obviously wasn't this shade because that shade did not come out until after I tried Kaleidos. I'm not super interested in trying another shade from Kaleidos. I don't know if this person circled back. The NUSE blushes have come up again. There's also specifically the shade 99 Down, which is a gray mix in for blush. Interesting. I do have Dusk from Phytosurgeons and I very rarely use it. So I don't know how much value I would get out of that. I still want to do that video that I had pitched up forever ago and everyone was like, yeah, do it. And then I never did, was use mixers in like a black mixer and a gray mixer on each side of my face to see what happens when I use them. Anyway, I still kind of want to do that. We'll see. I'll do like in a makeup playtime video, just be like, here's what we're trying. Another one for the About Face concealer. Again, the next suggestion is the reformulated Victoria Beckham primer. Of course, if you kind of heard my earlier suggestion, this was the thing that landed the most for me. I don't think I'm going to like it, but if I like, there was a world in which I was like, you know, I was like a follow up on Victoria Beckham Beauty a couple years later. I guess it would have been 4 years later. 4 years later. Victoria Beckham Beauty 4 years later. There's also some shades of some other stuff I went for Victoria Beckham. God, I would love to be on there. That's one brand that's one of those brands where I was like, I would love to be on your PR list just to spare me the money. The next suggestion that has not been covered yet in previous suggestions is the Farah Hamidi bronzer. Farah Hamidi is ramping up to release something else, and I actually have no clue what it is. And I've like looked at the images that they've released so far and I was like, I think it might be a contour, but then they also released a lot of imagery with people with bright blue eyeshadow, but the compact is black. So maybe it's like eyeshadows, plural. Like maybe there'll be like single eyeshadows. Oh my God, those will be very expensive single eyeshadows. Farah Hamidi bronzer. I've swatched this bronzer in the store. I can't even tell you how many times I've swatched this bronzer. Anytime I've been in a Sephora that carries Farah Hamidi, I have swatched this bronzer. I don't think the color would work for me. When I swatch it on my arm and I blend it out, it looks dirty. Like there's something about the undertone, the way that it sits on my skin is that it doesn't look orange. It just looks like dirt. And I understand that like kind of all makeup is just kind of glorifying dirt or something that has previously been mud that has been set into dirt pressed into dirt pressings. Like, I get that. But there's something about this color that looks dirty when I swatch it, which is not what I would say about most bronzers. And then it has a little bit of a sheen to it, which then makes it shiny dirt. But like shiny dirt derogatory, not my usual shiny dirt, which I really love shiny dirt. So I don't know. I also like, I'm kind of, I don't know. I think with Farah Hamidi, where I'm at now with the brand, I find them alluring. I like the luxury aspect of what they're selling. I like the fact that they launch their refills whenever they launch a product. I think I need to see what the brand is supposed to look like. And I don't know that I have a vision of what the brand is. If it's just going to be like the elevated clean girl aesthetic, I don't know how interested in that I'm going to be, even though that is kind of my vibe. The next two were both people suggesting that I revisit Cliona. Someone was like, just buy some more Cliona shades. That one I think would have to be crowdsourced. I've never actually I have not in a very long time taken a very deep dive into what Cliona offers. My favorite Cliona shade right now is Archway. And I only know that shade is so special because I saw it on another person. I saw it on Rainier. And if I hadn't seen it on Rainier, I wouldn't own it. Like, and they do have good swatches of Cliona on their website, but like, that was like something I saw in motion on someone's eyes. And that was like what was alluring about it. I don't know. I think I would have a hard time figuring out what I would actually be interested in looking at the Cliona website. And then a person had suggested the Cliona On Top of the World palette, which is a thing that I said I might want to try this year. The next suggestion is the one thing you wish you had tried before and never have. And I'm not sure I know what that is actually off the top of my head. Like, I could sit here and think about it for a while. Every time I'm in a Sephora or an Ulta, I spend a lot, like if I'm with a friend or if I'm by myself or with a friend who's like into makeup the way that I am, I will spend a lot of time swatching things I've swatched 100 times. I don't know what that is like off the top of my head, what that even would be. The next suggestion is the Hermes Foundation. They priced me out of that one, babe. $157 for the foundation. And I know that I have the Victoria Beckham Foundation, and that was like a stretch for me. Like, I don't really want to be spending over $100 on foundation. I don't know that anyone needs to. I think the bottle's ugly. I've not seen it in person, obviously, but I think the bottle looks ugly, which is such a shame because I think all of their other packaging is really beautiful. But there's something about that foundation packaging that I actually find gross, and I don't want it. And then the last suggestion, the YSL Lash Clash in Electric Blue. The person specifically was interested in seeing how it compares to the Violette FR Blue eye paint that I have. No. Lash Clash is a mascara that I actually really like, and I was devoted to for a couple years. Longtime viewers will know that I had like a love affair with that. I used to really love YSL's The Shock mascara. I think that was called, and they discontinued it and then released Lash Clash. I don't want to spend $30+ on a blue mascara. Because it will be something that I do not use a ton. Like, it will dry out, it will expire before I use it enough times to feel like it justifies a $30+ price point. And if I am going to do a blue mascara, I probably will buy it from the drugstore just out of convenience. So if you have a drugstore blue mascara suggestion to compare to the Violette FR blue one, great. But what I would suggest to this person, swatch them on your hand. If you have access to a Sephora that has both Violette and YSL, swatch them on your hand. I know it won't be as true because, like, obviously the blue will be covering your lashes. I don't know how well that would do. So I really don't know. Let me know in the comments down below some of these suggestions that you like. No new suggestions. The new suggestions will go into the form that is in the top of my description box. That is where you will leave your new suggestion. So comments should only be about old suggestions that were mentioned here. If you leave it in the comment, it's not going to make it to where I'm going to reference back to whenever I am choosing a product. Let me know what things were mentioned in this video that were most interesting to you. And I would love to hear that. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. Those are also in my description box. I will have a pinned comment. There'll be links there to support causes that are important to me and should be important to you. I will also have 5calls.org linked there. They are an organization that puts together scripts for you to be able to more confidently talk to your representatives. There are a lot of things going on right now. I suggest calling about defunding ICE and abolishing ICE. I suggest talking about the Epstein files to your representatives. Those are a couple suggestions, but there are also more things that you might be more passionate about that they have scripts for. Please don't be afraid to call because you need your voice to be heard. And even if calling might not do anything, not calling will do even less. So I suggest some strongly worded calls and emails. Do both. I've been talking for a really long time. I don't know how long your video is. I don't know how long you're seeing it, but the non-edited version is quite long. So I'm ready to go. Remember to follow your haute and you'll find me, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. Tits out.